hopefully. So your interview is done now. I have some observations here which I can share, and of course, then Ian, I'm sure, will have lots of observations as well. He's a very senior gentleman and have been managing lots of project managers. So, Ian, do you want me to go ahead first, or do you want to go ahead first? I think you go ahead first, Ian.
Let me go ahead first because you're much nicer than I am. Okay. But I'm going to, as I said to you, I'm going to be honest. But remember, this is about helping you so you know where to tighten up. So in overall terms, I think you presented very well. I think you're very calm, which is great. And obviously one needs that for a project manager. And I think you showed the appropriate amount of gravitas, if you want, which is great. So those things are all good. If I'm being honest with you, you need to be more concise in your answers. Yeah. The fact that you've got, the background that you've got, and the fact that you've got all the, or the PMPs and Prince 2 and all that, means that you understand how a project works. You don't have to prove that. Yeah. That will be taken as for granted. But you are answering the questions too much. Keep it concise. Yeah. Answer the question, but try and use less words. So in other words, you get more to the point. Because what you don't want is you don't want the interviewer's attention wandering. Yeah. Because when you have two and you're going for a senior position, before they come in, they will work on good cop, bad cop. Right? Someone's going to be the nice, easygoing one, and someone's going to cut in and try and rattle you. Yeah. So it's about, if you can keep your answers concise, you minimize, you actually take quite a lot of that away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing you didn't say or talk about very much was when I talked about scope, and we talked about planning, and we talked about budget, and we talked about scope creep. You didn't talk, you talked about a project charter. What you didn't talk about was getting people to sign off, or even if you're going to go through stage gates. Yeah. Because, okay, we both know that you can get as many people to sign off on stuff, right? And if they want to scope creep, they will. But however, the fact that they have signed off stuff, you can push that back to them and say, this is what you signed off for. You do realize that the budget and everything was built on that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's just to try and help you. Almost every example you gave was about CRM. Try to think about your audience. So, I mean, I don't know what company this is that you're going for, and I don't know what they do. But if you're going to give examples, try and give an example that would fit with what they're trying to do and what they want you for. Yeah? Seriously, try and do that, because they can relate to that more. If it's CRM, great. And also, because you are answering the questions as fully as possible, which is in one respect good, you did tend to repeat yourself. So you've got all the bits in place. Yeah, you've got the gravitas, you've got the presentation, you've got, yeah, just try and make your answers more to the point. Yeah, because if you do that, they will keep their attention, your interviewer's attention. And also you take away some of them trying to knock you off balance. Okay?
Great feedback from you. Thank you.
But that's to help you. I'm not having a go at you. I'm trying to help you.
No, thank you. I mean, the concise part, I realized it when I was having throughout the interview that I need to be more concise. I just realized it even during the interview.
Yeah. So the rest of it is fine. But be more concise and try and give your answers based on where you're going to give examples. Try and do it from your experience, knowing what it is that this company does and what they're asking, what they're wanting you for. Yeah. So try and make it match.
Yeah.
Okay. Rahul?
Yes, so I think very well summarized, Ian. Few things that I just would like to add, Fed. So I think your presentation was good. One thing I would say is, would you not wear a tie when you go for interview, Fed?
Well, I do, but it's just like early in the morning, so I end up not having to be more formal. I do. I normally I'm very formal when it comes
Yeah,
to the
right.
formal.
I think it does make a
Yes,
difference
yes,
personally.
absolutely.
So that's one I think you should think about. Second is I think one thing during the entire interview, you sort of did not pause and asked the interviewer, sorry, is it making any sense? Or, I think you were just one-sided and you just, as Ian was saying, even if you're concise, you got to read our body language as interviewers. I and Ian sort of tried to interrupt you in between so that you can come back to the point because it was too long and then you were just not, you were just, which is fine that you were into it, but I think you got to recognize that interviewers' body language is telling you that, it's not going well actually. Yeah. So that's another thing. Thirdly, I think examples there. So just think about it, Fed, for this job interview. I think they will at least get 10 to 20 people coming for interview, right? It's
Right.
not about doing the average job, it's about shining, right? And how do you shine in the interviews? Use loads of examples, real life examples from your projects that you worked. And I think Ian covered that piece a little bit, that you got to bring the coverage. Yeah. So for scoping, where did you have an example? Actually, go back to your projects, think about where you actually had scope creep. How did you manage it? Yeah. For budgeting, how did you do some other project, please? Yeah. For your change requests and stakeholder management, some other project, please. The more breadth and the complexity you give to the interviewer, you will shine. And I think that is what will keep you, stand you apart from the crowd, because there will be so many people going through this interview process. Okay.
Remember, okay, so a little tip.
Mm-hmm.
You will have, the moment you walk into the interview, I mean, is it a face-to-face interview or is it over the web?
It's over the team. Yeah.
Right, okay. So you have about 30 seconds to make or break the interview, believe it or not. Those 30 seconds, it's a bit like, how can I explain it? You go out for the evening, I don't know whether you're married, got kids or what, but you go out for the evening and you get back reasonably early, so let's say it's about 10:30 at night, and you're not tired and you haven't got to get up early in the morning, so you sit down in front of the television and you turn the TV on, yeah? I'm sure you've done that. You've got your remote in your hand. You click it on and something comes on. That program, that very first program, has about 30 seconds to grab you. If it doesn't grab you in those 30 seconds, you just go, and click another button to another channel until such time as one grabs you. Yeah? Now, the program that you first watched may have been a superb program, but you just came in at the time when nothing much was happening. But it's the same thing. It's when you start your interview, yeah? As I said, I think you've got an awful lot of boxes that get ticked, yeah? You sound good, you look good, etc., etc. Yeah? Don't change any of that. For God's sake, don't change any of that, yeah? Big engaging smile. And as soon as the first thing they're going to do is ask you a couple of questions to put you at ease, yeah? But keep it smiley face, concise, to the point, yeah? And you'll have them, yeah? You'll draw them in. After that, they will be then wanting to interview you. Does that make sense?
No, it sounds good. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And think about your background. So in other words, so when I'm looking at you at the moment, one side of your wall is quite dark, another side is quite light behind you. Yeah. So it means that one side of your face has got quite a lot of sunshine on it.
Right,
And
yeah.
lucky you, you've got sunshine. We've got rain here. Yeah. Just try and think about what people are going to see behind you. Make sure that you can be seen clearly and easily. Yeah. So all these little tiny things that make the difference. And for God's sake, make sure your cell phone is turned off.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think, yeah, I would say all the scenario questions that we asked you, like budget, scoping, planning, stakeholder management, I would say keep some examples ready in your pocket, because these are very commonly asked questions to PMs. And if you have at least two examples ready for each of these aspects, then what will happen is you can use them instantly in the interview. And I think examples bring the depth and breadth of your how have you dealt with the situation, because that's how you play out. So I think examples are the key, I would say. So please make sure that before you go to your real interview, you get loads of examples for all of the questions that we asked you. And I think that will greatly help you, Fed.
No, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I have to just revisit the last interview. Actually, I did like ages ago. It's just I have to work on my go back to my homework and do the to be
Yeah.
more, maybe document them. If I
Yes, for
document
sure.
them, it will help me to be more concise.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I think
way
you need to get
going to
that.
help me as well. And
Absolutely.
then and also maybe define those key points which I want to put it across. Uh,
Mhm.
from that perspective is going to help me. But it's a great feedback, Ian, and both of you. Yeah, it's a great feedback from both of you.
Right.
It's
Good.
helped.
So yeah. So you've got a great chance. Just remember who your audience is. Yeah. So don't try not. I mean, you may be impossible not to, but where you can, use examples that are relevant to them. Yeah.
Yeah, they are actually into CRM, but
Oh
I
right.
believe
Fine.
I
Great.
can. Yeah. So, but I
Yeah.
believe I can be more concise for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, still, the feedback I got, I agree with that, and thus I realized even when I was having a conversation with you both during the interview stage is that I have to be go back to the drawing board just to make it more concise, put it in writing, maybe some of the examples, and see where the gaps are and try to address those gaps.
But the rest of it, your presentation, the fact you kept your cool, you kept your voice modulated. Brilliant. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Right. Okay. So I think that's about the feedback now. So Fed,